Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. The video intro that I recorded got messed up, so there's no intro. I'm just going to be launching right into the haul from the Miami Pen Show. Hope you enjoy. Starting off, I will point out these two adorable postcards. This is the official Miami Pen Show kind of artwork design. And I love how, they've taken these plants, bonsai plant, I don't remember what they're called, and then they've got fountain pen nibs kind of integrated in there. It's just really cute and clever and super colorful and all of that. And then here's a really cute one too. And these were in the swag bag that I got because I got the Trader Pass. I was so excited that Lighthouse Paper Company was at the pen show this year. They were not there last year because they are based in Melbourne, Florida, which is 2.5 hours away from Fort Lauderdale, despite the fact that it's called the Miami Pen Show. It was actually moved to Fort Lauderdale this year, which is phenomenal because that is so much more convenient for almost everyone. I mean, I guess with the exception of just the people that are actually in Miami, but everyone else much more accessible. So anyway, so these were super cute edition by Lighthouse Paper Company. And I was so happy they were there because Lighthouse Paper Company, and I will show you, this is my shopping bag from them. I follow them, on Instagram, and I think I'm on their mailing list. They carry Hobonichi, they carry Travelers, they carry pens, and they were one of the retailers last year that got to do like a Hobonichi launch party. And but it was just too far away for me to just go to a launch party. It's literally 2.5 hour drive. But I've always wanted to go to their store, and so it was pretty cool that their store came to us at the pen show this weekend. So I'll talk about what I got from them, the workshop, the pens that I got, hint, hint, in here and in here. So let's get started. So, okay, I'm going to start with the pen situation. And by way of talking about the workshop I went to, because that will explain this book. So, there was a workshop called The Art and Science of Journaling and Letter Writing, and it was led by a woman named Jeannie Florini, who is retired from teaching at a community college, I believe in St. Louis, I want to say. And she is a dietitian by training, but also is like really into journaling and kind of the self-care effects that journaling has, for mindfulness and presence and just all kinds, like how it's so good for you. And like literally she was talking about how your blood pressure actually goes down when you journal and all that. So I thought it'd be just kind of cool. I love, journaling. I love letter writing. And so I saw that it was a 1 hour workshop, and your fee, I think it was $35, included a journaling kit. And each one was like, custom curated kit of like lots of different goodies that she put in. And included would be like, often there'd be a notebook and pens and all kinds of things. And I was like, all right, well, this will be fun. Even if I don't get much out of the class, but just the kit, then like there's still value. And I got stuff out of the class as well. But the notebook that was in my journaling kit was this Midori. There we go. Midori. A5 dot grid, and with this cute little fountain pen style clip on it. So I used this notebook to write about kind of the pen situation at the show. So we're going to go through that first. Let me bring this down a little. And this is the rickshaw pen case with the show's, signature kind of vibe, like print, look, whatever. And I actually got this last year at the Miami Pen Show. I bought this from Kirk Spear's table, Pen Realm, from his wife, Crystal. It was my very first purchase at the Pen Show last year. I was so excited because I just wanted to make sure I got one of these before they sold out. It is my first and only rickshaw case, and it is just the perfect size for me. And I just freaking love this print. I just look at the fountain pen there, and the fountain is just so cute. But that's why it's a little bit, dirty. I've had it a year, and it gets, it gets some use. And the inside is that super cushy green, fluff. But so anyway, so this was not this year's
acquisition. It was last year. But my first mission at this year's pen show was to take these 3 pens to Kirk Spear at Pen Realm, the Nib Smith. First things first is I made an appointment with him for the first day of the pen show, a morning appointment. And so I'd kick things off, and this would be my first ever custom grinds. And so I knew I wanted to get a grind on my transparent green TWSBI, and that is because I got this last year at the pen show from Mike's Pen Fun. It was on his like pre-owned pens table where you could just grab whatever you want for between like 12 and 20 bucks. I don't remember exactly, but it was like, 1 for 12, 2 for, I don't remember how it worked, but long story short, I got a great deal on this pen. And when I grabbed it, I didn't even know what nib size it was. Cause like with many of the TWSBI Ecos, the nib size is often like written on the nib, but it's like deep in there and you can't really see it. And, but it was a broad, and I tried all year to just try to get use out of this. And I just am not a broad person. And so I knew I wanted to get a custom grind on this so I could actually bring this TWSBI like into my rotation and really get some use out of it. And then my Benu Euphoria Vodka on the Rocks, I think I've talked about this before. Last summer, this is my first ever Benu. I was not ever planning on getting this particular colorway. But last summer we were visiting colleges, and we were in Ithaca, New York, and there's a really cute little stationery shop there called Mockingbird Papery, and they had 50% off all of their Benus, and it was 50% off whatever price was marked on the pen. And I guess this pen had already been significantly reduced, and so then it was like 50% off of that. So it was such a steal. Like I could not even believe it. I was like, how did I get to be so lucky? So I was so pumped. However, the nib was not in the best working condition. And I think it's because the pen had been, used and tested by patrons and stuff. So I tried it for a little while. I mean, it would write, but it was just, it dragged. It was very temperamental. And then I found online that you could change out the Euphoria nib unit with a nib unit from the TWSBI VAC 700. And so I ordered a fine nib unit, and actually figured out how to change it out. I was very proud of myself. This was like my first time really making, adjustments and switching out nibs. And I was like, I'm learning. And it worked. And so this has had a TWSBI VAC 700 fine in it for, almost a year. And it works. However, it is the one and only pen nib combo that pretty much no matter what ink I put into it, it bleeds through. And like I could be doing like currently inked page on, my Wonderland 222 Tomoe River paper notebook, and like nothing will bleed through except for this pen. And it's like, doesn't even matter what's in it. It just bleeds through. And so it's something about the nib, because I could put the same ink in a different pen and it's not bleeding through. And there's just something and I have 2 other Benus that have fine nibs and they don't bleed through. So I don't know. It was just, so I thought, you know what? Let me put the original nib back into this. It's a Schmidt medium, and take that to Kirk Spear and have him do a custom grind. Like basically that nib needs to be tuned, but maybe instead of just tuning it, actually have him do like a cool custom grind on it, and kind of give this pen a whole new life. So the cool thing about going to his table is he's got all of his custom grinds already done on a whole bunch of different TWSBIs, and they're all labeled, but so you can sit there and like test out every one. And so I did. I got there to his table like 15 minutes before my appointment, so that while he was working with the person in front of me, I could kind of take my time testing out all the different nibs. And so I narrowed it down and then chatted with him and, told him this was a broad, this was a medium. And it didn't take long to come to a decision of what to get. I went in thinking, from all of my research and watching other people's videos online about custom grinds, I went in thinking that I was going to want a cursive smooth italic. But when I tried the cursive smooth italic, it felt very familiar. And I was like, I feel like I have a pen like this already, even though I don't technically have a Kirk Spear cursive smooth italic. But what I do have is the Coffee Monsters Co. Esterbrook SD collab pen, and I got the Gina Salarino Journaler nib, which I love. And the Cursive Smooth Italic felt very similar to that. And I asked Kirk, I was like, is this very, and he was like, yep. And I was like, well, that explains. So I was so proud of myself that I actually like recognized that it was the same feeling, because that just shows me that my kind of palette, is like getting more sophisticated as I've, been in the hobby for about 2 years now. Is that right? Maybe, about 2 years. Can that be right? That's a year and a half. I don't know, something like that. Where am I? So I didn't want to get a Cursive Smooth Italic because it felt like it wasn't going to be bringing in something new to my collection. I wanted 2 custom grinds that would be very different from anything I currently have. So on this one, we went with an Imperial grind, and on this one, we went with a Waverly. And so what I did when I got home from the pen show was use my little Midori notebook that I got from the workshop and kind of turned it into a pen show journal / a memory book. So I made a little title page. And then I just kind of talked about the different, things that I got and things that I did. So the first was my custom nib grinding. So this is the Imperial nib, and I wrote all this with this pen. And the description of an Imperial grind is half sphere, removes top half of nib to create stub-like line variation with a round nib feel. That is so true. Like, absolutely has stub-like variation for me, but without those like sharp corners. I do have my TWSBI Eco Cafe Bronze is in the stub 1.1, from TWSBI, and I'm happy I have it. I like experimenting with it, but to me, it's not like, I can't if I write a paragraph with it like this, it kind of annoys me. Because it's like the corners are too harsh. And so this one just kind of like it works. I'm much more comfortable writing with it because, like it says, it does have more of a round nib feel while giving you the stub nib line variation. So I kind of talked about this, and then I rated the pen. I said the pen now I would put it a 9 out of 10, and I don't know why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10, but that was just kind of my instinct at the time. The ink that is in here is the Anderillium Inks Vizcaya Green, which was the Miami Pen Show signature ink that Anderillium created for last year's show. And it's just like kind of a perfect green. It just goes perfectly in this pen, which is one of the reasons why I was so upset that I didn't enjoy using this pen before, because I really love the pen and ink together and really wanted to use this ink. So now I'm very happy to have this pen in use. This is the page about this one. So this is the Waverly nib. It started off as a medium, and the description of this grind is slight upturned nib, good for quick writing and low hand discipline. And I just realized I should show you these nibs up close. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Okay, so there is the broad that was turned into all right, let me try this. Turned into an Imperial. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get like close enough to actually really appreciate what's going on with the nib. I'm not really good at this zoom situation. I mean, if I actually like zoom the camera, all right, that's actually, okay. So remember, this started off as a broad, and it turns into a half sphere. There, you can see there that it's shaved. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. It's kind of shaved. The top half is shaved, so it becomes like a half sphere at that angle. And then the Waverly is a slight upturned. This should be easier to see because it's a little bit more obvious. So there's the nib, but then when I turn to the side, okay. So see how it kind of curves up there at the end? That slight upturn makes such a difference. And it's really comfortable to write with. So here is what I said about that. This is the story I was just talking about, getting the pen, and it didn't flow, and I got the TWSBI, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so I wrote all about that, and that's literally the story I just told you. And then it says, so now it's not just tuned, but improved and reinvented, and I love it, and I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. The ink that is in here is the Waringal Hades. I don't know if you can catch that. There's a shimmer in this ink. I don't know if you can catch it. I don't have the best lighting. I don't think it's like a black with like a blue shimmer, and it's really pretty. This was a sample that I got that is now empty. Like the rest of the sample is in this pen, and that's it for my Waringal Hades. It was a random, it was a random ink sample. It wasn't an ink that I chose, so I'm probably not going to reorder it because generally when I want a black, I just use my platinum carbon black, and I like the Pilot black, and I feel like this was really pretty, but it's not, the shimmer's not obvious enough for it to like just be that different from a regular black, but I do like it. Anyway, so that's my page on the Waverly nib of my Benu. And then the other pen that I have in my collection that I love, but just haven't been really using because of the nib, is this Conklin 1898 Misto that I got from the Atlas Experienced pen sale. And I love this resin. Am I getting enough light in here? Let me see. That help? I don't know if it's gonna help, but I love this resin. It is so pretty. There's so much going on in there. There's so many colors it can go with. I mean, it's called the 1898 Misto Green. Obviously there's a lot of green, but there's pink, there's yellow, there's blue. But with the Atlas Experienced pen sale, you don't have a choice of nib. It's just whatever the pen is what it is, right? So you only claim it if you are interested in, that pen with that nib. And so this came with an extra fine, and I have a couple extra fines that I like and that write well, and so I thought, okay, that's cool. But this extra fine was just so fine. Like, it was just too fine for me. And like, I think my sweet spot is a fine, and I'm starting to actually really enjoy a couple mediums, but extra fine was just too much. And especially coming out of this pen, because this is a nice, like, ooh, I'm giving away the customer. This is a nice, like, girthy pen, and extra fine, I just felt too much of a contrast, but wasn't loving it, and so wasn't really writing with it that often. And then I saw that Kirk was doing a custom engraved nib for each pen show, like this summer. Like, every pen show he's going to, he's got like a different style of custom engraved nib. And I was like, well, that would be cool. I could just replace this nib with like the custom engraved nib that he did for the Miami Pen Show. But the one he did for the Miami Pen Show is an alligator, which I understand. Like, it makes sense. It's Fort Lauderdale, and we live near the Everglades, and, and gators are the mascot of University of Florida, and, all of that. However, I really don't want an alligator on my nib. I don't want to be looking at an alligator all the time. I'm not like a big alligator fan. Plus, right now, when I hear the word alligator, all it does is make me think of a terrible detention center that innocent people are being sent to. So I wasn't really vibing with this year's Miami Pen Show specialty nib, despite, how the craftsmanship on it is gorgeous. I mean, he really knows what he's doing. Like, his work is beautiful. But when you go to his table, he has like a whole bunch of custom nibs that you can look through. And I knew this nib needed to be replaced. This EF, nothing wrong with it again, just too fine for me. So I picked, there were a couple of really cute ones. It was kind of hard to decide. He had like one with a cat, one with a dog, a unicorn, a rainbow, like all kinds of things. But because there's all these colors, it kind of makes me think of like a garden and, grass and plants and flowers. And so when I saw this nib, I was like, you know what? That's the one. So this is, let me see if I can get it. I don't know why I'm having such issues with the light. Okay, there we go. This was a black nib that he then kind of carved away to reveal the silver, and it's a hibiscus flower. And I just thought it was so unique, and it's just a really nice Jovo medium, but black with hibiscus. Isn't that pretty? And coming out of this is all the different colors. I just felt like, I don't know, it's just kind of cool and different. And so now I love writing with this pen because it's a great nib and it flows well. And it's just, now it's like having a brand new pen because I just wasn't really using it before. So this is my page about that one, the hibiscus medium, and all about my Conklin. And so I have this inked right now. I originally had put Robert Oster Pink Squirrel in the pen. And this was still when it had the EF nib, but it was just way too narrow and it wasn't flowing that great. I felt like that ink might not have been wet enough for such a fine nib, and I was getting frustrated. And so I didn't clean it out. I just added a whole bunch of Diamine Imperial Purple because there was very little Pink Squirrel left in it. And so it's mostly just flowing Diamine Imperial Purple right now, but like with a hint of Robert Oster Pink Squirrel in there. So that's my page on that one. Then I went to the Crazy Allen's Emporium table, and last year I bought a beautiful Esterbrook Esty oversized aqua from Crazy Allen's table, and you know, he is a fun character, and he will work with you. He's very friendly and warm, and I love the Esterbrook Esty that I got from him last year. I'm just using this to hold the book down, and there wasn't necessarily anything at his table that I was like, you know, jumping at it, because I knew going into the show, my one like main purchase, like other than my grinds, the one thing I was really focusing on this year was getting my first maker pen. Like I really wanted to, you know, whatever, if I'm going to get a maker pen, I want to try it in person, like see it in person, feel it, hold it, be able to get an up close look, not just order it online and like hope for the best. And so, but I was at Alan's table and he has this bin that says, name a price, I'll be nice, or something like that. And it just has like a whole bunch of random pens in it, including like, you know, roller balls and gel pens and just all kinds of stuff. And literally in this one bin, and like there's like no boxes, it's just everything's thrown in. And in this one bin, there's one TWSBI box, okay? And I'm like, are you kidding? Like there's literally one TWSBI in here. Now, is it brand new? I don't know. Did it look new? Yes. Like it doesn't look like there was any ink in it ever, but you know, maybe somebody cleaned it out perfectly well. But it was in the box, but it was missing the paperwork and like the insert with the wrench and the silicone gel. So I don't know, but it came in a box. But either way, it's a medium nib, which is the only nib size that I don't have in a TWSBI that I've been wanting to get. And it was in the exact colorway that I've had my eye on. Like I've said, if I'm going to get another TWSBI, the specific one I want is the transparent blue. And bam, like it was, I kid you not, it was the only TWSBI in this like name your price, I'll be nice bin. And it's literally the exact TWSBI that if I was getting a TWSBI, it's literally the exact one I have. Like, I just couldn't even believe it. I was like, oh my God. So, so he sold me this for $20. Like, awesome. Love it. And I inked this up with the Anderillium Inks Blue Ringed Octopus Blue, which is my favorite blue that I actually got in my swag bag last year at the pen show. So this is that blue. I love it coming out of this pen. It is such a great match. So that was a huge win, and this TWSBI is in perfect condition. And the other pen that was in that bin was also in its box, including like with the eyedropper that comes with it. And it is the Moonman C2 in a medium. And it is my first and only eyedropper pen. It is a full just eyedropper pen. That's it. So you get to see the ink gushing around in there. And yeah, it's awesome. So I inked it up with the ink that I got in my swag bag this year, which was the Anderillium Inks Pompadour Cotinga Burgundy. So this one, I love the look of it. I'm happy to have an eyedropper pen. I'm definitely doing something wrong. So I feel like because of the physics of an eyedropper pen, like there's probably some trick that I just don't know, but I just feel like it's writing. Like when I tested this ink with a TWSBI at the Anderillium Inks table, it wrote more saturated than this, and you could see more of the properties of the ink. This kind of like has like a green sheen to it. And with this pen, I feel like it's kind of writing dry and light unless I like put pressure down, then it kind of just pushes it down just when I put pressure. And I just feel like it's not like I'm doing something wrong. Probably something to do with like air displacement. I don't know. There's probably some trick. So if you know, please leave me a comment and tell me what I'm doing wrong. It's my first ever eyedropper pen, pen that's literally designed to be an eyedropper. Comes with an eyedropper. And this was in a box that was marked $30, but I had no idea like whether that was a fair price. And it wasn't, he hadn't put $30 on it. I think Crazy Alan, he like acquires collections from people's estates, from little stores that are, closing or getting rid of their fountain pen offering, just all kinds of things. Cause there's like different price stickers on different things. And, he just sources them from different places. And so this had a sticker that said $30, but when I went online and just kind of looked for the most current model of this pen, and you could find something like pretty similar. It looks like the current model of this on Amazon for $19.99. And so I offered him 10 and he accepted it. I was thinking he was going to like come back, but he was like, take it, whatever. So I was like, all right, score. So, but I still, I feel like I, got a great deal on it, but I still feel like I want to figure out what to do to make it like work better. So these are my pen acquisitions, and then these were my like pen upgrades in terms of nibs. And then my maker pen, the pièce de résistance. So like I said, I knew going in that I wanted to get my first maker pen, and I researched all of the vendors in advance of going and checked out all their stuff and all of that. So I knew like which tables were viable options for me and which tables I might be like completely priced out of. And also just which ones I thought were pretty and all of that. And I was most excited to check out TriStar Studio and Little Hollow Customs. And the people at both were super nice. Little Hollow Customs is this really sweet couple from Hickory. Well, they live in Hickory, North Carolina, but neither of them are from there. And they had their 2 little kids with them, and they were just really, really sweet. And I loved the idea of supporting them. So there was one pen there that I had my eye on called the Abigail, which refers to the resin. And they get their resins from Turnt Pen Co. And then the other place was TriStar Studio, and they're based in Tennessee. And they also get their resins from Turnt Pen Co. And there were 2 pens at TriStar Studio that I really liked and 1 at Little Hollow Custom. And so this was on Friday, and I didn't want to make an impulsive decision, and I knew I was going back on Saturday. So I went home and slept on it, and I said, if any of them, have been purchased in the meantime, then that just tells me that wasn't the pen that was meant for me. And so I went back the next day, and it turned out that one of the 2 pens I was looking at TriStar had been purchased. So that narrowed it down to a choice between the other one I was looking at here and the one I was looking at Little Hollow Custom. And it was close, but I went with this one, which I love, and I'm so happy I got it. And on day 2, my husband was with me, and he also was like, yes, that is the one. There's the lid. I love how the pen comes in this. And in tissue. And this is the pen. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Look at that resin. If you think it looks like it's shimmering, that's because it is. Look at that. So his name is Scott at TriStar Studio, and he gets his resin from Turnt Pen Co. also, and this resin is called Mystique. And I love, first of all, it's just so beautiful, and there's so many pretty colors in here. There's so many different inks that would be beautiful coming out of this pen. It is such a nice weight and size. It feels so perfect in the hand. Let me go back to, it's so perfect in the hand. It's the perfect size. I love that the grip section, why do I have such a hard time getting this to focus? And it just seems so dark. I love that the grip section tapers out here. It's just perfect. The threads are way back here, so I don't come into contact with them at all. And Comes with a standard converter. This is actually a Schmidt converter. It is not postable, but I don't need it to be. It is a great weight and a great length. And this pen was shown with a blue nib, and it looked really cool. I definitely it was attractive. I thought about it. However, the blue nib did not have the 3 stars, which is kind of his little symbol for his studio. And I like the 3 stars because to me that adds to the, it's a custom pen from TriStar Studio. So I like that it shows that it's from TriStar Studio. And the other reason I decided to opt for just the stainless color instead of the blue is because I want to feel free to put any color ink in here that, I want to put. I mean, there's so many options. And it was such a blue nib. I mean, it was like, bluer than, it was blue. And I just felt like I wasn't going to love seeing a color of ink come out of a blue nib if it wasn't blue. It was so blue. I felt like, am I going to want to see pink coming out of the blue nib or different blue coming out of the blue? I just felt like it would be kind of trippy writing with it. And in the long run, I'd be happier just the stainless nib because then anything can come out of it and it won't kind of trip me up. And I'm so happy that I made that choice because I love it. I love the 3 stars. This is a medium. And I think that I just assumed that it was a Jovo nib because, so many people use them and I don't know, it just feels like that's the most common nib. But then when I got home and I really started writing with it, I was like, this feels different. Like it just feels different from my other nibs and not good, different or bad, different, just different. I was like, why is this feeling different? And I didn't know. And then I went on his website and was like reading more about his pens. And it turns out that the pens that are listed on his site, it says that they've got a Bach number 6 nib. And I was like, oh, is this a Bach nib? So I texted him because we were already communicating about like the resin, model name and whatever. And sure enough, yes, it's a Bach nib. So I'm even more excited because not only does it mean like I have my first maker pen and all of that, but it's also my first Bach nib. So it expanded my collection in more ways than I even realized. I love the way it writes. And so, yeah, this was my page on my pen. So, TriStar Studios, Mystique, gorgeous resin with shimmery swirls of color, pink, purple, green, yellow, red, orange, amber, black. Actually, funny enough, I didn't even write blue on this list and it had the blue nib because it doesn't really have much blue. It has some teal and it has some purple, like that on the screen. That's this right here. That's kind of looking, maybe it could be bluish. It's much more purple in real life. So yeah, there's not really any royal blue on here. Even more reason why the blue nib. I was like, no. So here I talked about the blue nib. So I love it. So that's my maker pen. And then this would be a good point, a good moment to show. I also got, I really wanted a single pen sleeve because I just don't have one. So if I just want to bring one nice pen with me to school one day, I always felt like I had to, what am I doing here? I had to bring my whole, case. And so this is veg tan leather, Italian leather. And this is basically made from scraps that this vendor, he's an Italian guy, I think it's Grifos, Grifos, I want to say. So whatever his leftover scraps are from the kind of more bigger, beautiful products he makes, he doesn't want anything to go to waste, so he just turns them into single sleeves. And so it was $6 for this gorgeous veg tan, 100% Italian leather pen sleeve. And it fits, it's beautiful. So, all right. Okay, moving on. Inks. So the inks that I got at the show were first the one I talked about before. This is the Anderillium Pompadour Cotinga Burgundy. And here is how that one came out. And see what I mean? This, I wrote this with my Sailor Hokoro dip pen in the fine. And it's still just way more, payoff with this color than when I wrote it with that new Moon Man eyedropper. So yeah, I got to address that. But nice, pretty burgundy, like it very much. And then the show ink that was made custom for this show is the Boca Cheetah Blush. And I have been very into pink and purple inks lately, like just kind of on a binge of pink and purple and like loving lots of different shades of pink and purple inks. So I was really excited to get my hands on the Show ink when I heard that it was a blush. And this color really pops. It's got like pink with like a little hint of coral, I would say, in it. I wrote, reminds me of a snowball from NOLA, that's New Orleans, Louisiana, which is where I'm originally from. It totally reminds me of like the color of like a syrup that you would get in a snowball. Just sweet, fun. It's not a pink, not a red. It's like somewhere in between. It's very summery, and I just love it. It's just a happy color, and it flows really great. I don't have it in a pen yet because I have a couple pens inked right now with pinks, and I just feel like it would be kind of too much. But I will ink it up very soon. And then my mom, who I've been penabling, and so she got some pens at the show. She wanted a bottle of a green ink, and so I told her about Iroshizuku inks and that she really can't go wrong. And so she chose the Suigyoku, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but a very pretty green with a little bit of a teal leaning tint to it, I would say. Lovely tealish green, that's what I wrote. So my mom bought a full bottle, and she let me create a sample for myself from her bottle. So this is my little sample of the Iroshizuku. I made a mistake when I was writing it, but Suigyoku, however you say that. All right, that was my inks. And then this, remember I mentioned the notebook came in this journaling kit at the workshop that I did. And there were also a couple of pens in the kit. This entire bag is the kit. So these are the notes that I took. Okay. So everything in here, including this notebook and paperclip, was all given to me at the workshop. So it included 2 Zig, which is by Kuretake, Zig calligraphy metallic color markers. These are double-sided, a silver and a gold. They have the kind of skinny calligraphy, kind of a chiseled tip, and a thicker that side. So that is what this last page of swatching is. I tested out each of those. They really are metallic. You see that shine and sheen on those? They're really nice. So I need to kind of practice how to use those properly, but very, very nice. And then there's also just all this other stuff in here. This is a whole sticker sheet. There was some like scrapbook kind of paper, lots of stickers. She had a bin of different kits, and you could pick your kit just kind of based on a color scheme, whatever vibe you're picking up, just different ephemera. I picked this one because there were a few different things relating to cameras and film and acting and whatever. And my son is an actor, and I have been writing him a lot of letters this summer while he's away at Performing Arts Camp. And so this one just kind of drew me in. But I mean, all of this stuff was included. These are stickers. I love cats. There's a cute little cat. This looks a lot like my childhood cat Chucky, and also my mom's cat Anna. There's some pretty flowers. I mean, there were just so many. Alarm clock sticker, just so much stuff. Kind of old-fashioned film, ephemera, and more stickers, more stickers. These are also more stickers, just really cool. Oh, another cat that looks kind of a lot like my current cat in some ways, not spitting image, but more stickers, stars, stencils, like all of these stencils were in the kit, include this one too. I mean, all of it. Oh, and then she had different prompts that she gave us. So she gave us all. This prompt: wishes consist of part hope, part love, and part sweat. What is one personal wish and why? So it's just a journaling prompt. Because as I said, the title of the workshop was the art and science of journaling. This was in there, a camera. This was a full square scrapbooking sheet, but I tore some off because she also gave us a blank card, and I wrote a little something, but to start kind of, so I glued all this stuff down and started just working on the card. So that's the black and white is torn off of here. So yeah, with an envelope. So I mean, all of this stuff, plus, you know, plus the nice little zipper bag, plus the Midori notebook was all in the kit. And let's not forget the Kuretake Zig calligraphy markers. So very, very generous. So yeah, very, very cool. So I got to figure out, you know, what else I'm going to do with all these goodies in here. Put all this stuff away. And then the other place that I did a little damage to my pocketbook was, as I mentioned at the beginning, Lighthouse Paper Company. And let's just take it all out. Anything else in here? Okay. So here's the card for the pen, TriStar Studio. This was in the swag bag. This is like the official, you know, Miami Pen Show vinyl. Very nice. And then they also had stickers. These are what they were using in their social media marketing, like leading up to the show. They have an amazing ink swatching table they call the Reef. It's just a brilliant concept. And so these were kind of spread out all over the table. So I grabbed a couple different colors. And then got some vinyls from different stores. That's from Lighthouse Paper Company. That's the TriStar Studio sticker. They also had this sticker at their table, which is a nice vinyl. All right, then my receipt for my pen. This is paperwork on Lighthouse Paper Company. Oh, I've got two. Okay, I didn't realize that. So I love to write letters, mostly to my son at camp. And so I got these 3 Midori letter writing sets. Okay, my light went out because apparently it was not plugged in. So I got 3 Midori stationery sets. They're adorable with envelopes. That's a sticker sheet that comes on the front. My son is obsessed with strawberries. It's his favorite food. So I couldn't help but get these. Just so cute. I already wrote him a letter using each of these 2 sets. And then this one was just so pretty. And I do love my cats. I have a big fatty cat. He's 24 pounds, named Rascal. Actually, his name is King Rascal the Great. He's kind of a lot like this guy. Big and fluffy. So yeah, so I love these 3 sets. I got those at Lighthouse Paper Company. These are just little marketing, you know, promotional things they had there, but I just thought this was so cute. I was like, that's like really cute ephemera for my journal. So put a couple extra ones of those in my bag for me. And then it's another Lighthouse Paper Company vinyl. What is this? Oh, this was information about the show that came in the bag. Wi-Fi was free. Oh, this was like the map from all the tables. Oh, they had food trucks outside for lunch. That was really nice. Okay, this I did not even know existed. This was also from Lighthouse Paper Company. I love Yumi Kitagishi. I got the Yumi Kitagishi little gifts cover for 2024 and love it. And I still use it right now. It's housing my ink journal. And I mean, I just love it. And so I also, like this year for 2025, I got all of her pencil boards. So this is stationery, letter writing paper. It's a really nice surface for writing on this side. Like a little bit of toothiness. I haven't tested it out with pens yet, but this side's super glossy where the art is. So very cool. So yeah, I just love this. And it's got 10 sheets, and I'm trying to remember if they're all the same. I feel like there's 2. Yeah, there's 2 different kinds. There's 5 of this design, and then there are 5 of this design. How cute. I mean, come on. I freaking love her art. She is just, that's little mama cat holding her little coffee cup. I mean, she's got a little bird or duck on her lap and a little bunny down here. I mean, it's just so cute. And then that is the back side. You right on. And again, same kind of thing, like kind of nice, flat, toothy finish here, but like super glossy, smooth finish here. So I love these. So there are 10 sheets in total. This was $12. Absolutely love. All right, and then this is a Midori notebook, Mofu Sound. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I mean, does anything further need to be said? I mean, come on, $6. Beautiful Midori paper, really nice grid, cats in each corner. I mean, really? Yes. This was just a yes. It was just a definite yes. Now the question is, like, what will its dedicated purpose be? I don't know. It's one of those notebooks that I'm like, oh, it's thin. I think it's like 24 pages. So, yeah, it's 24 pages. So it is not, like going to be my ink journal. It's got to be like a limited special purpose. I just don't know what it is yet. And last but not least, back at the Crazy Allen's Emporium table when I was got the TWSBI in the blue and the Moon Man eyedropper, he had a nice display of the Oasis notebooks, and these are great. I got an Oasis notebook when I was in New York last summer at a bodega. I got a really thin one because I just love the feel of the paper, and I'd never tried it before, and so I just got a really thin one just to kind of check it out. And I haven't decided what to use it. I've tested that paper, but I don't know what to use it for yet because it's really thin. It's bigger than this too. It's not A4, but it's like, maybe it's a B4. I'm not sure, or B. I don't know, but maybe it's B5. I don't know, but anyway, this is A5. But I love the quality of the paper, and these are really reasonable compared to, some other of the really good, like fountain pen friendly paper. And this is a pretty nice thick notebook. Like it's solid, made in Japan. And actually Crazy Allen's sister, Anita, said that this is actually a brand, that these notebooks are made by Sailor. So, I haven't looked that up. I mean, I have no reason to not believe her, but it doesn't say Sailor anywhere on here. I should Google that. They are made in Japan. So yeah, they just have a really nice feel, and they've got this kind of special kind of grid where it's like kind of lined, but gridded and bigger and like pretty handy. And you can use it for pretty much any purpose. So it's little notches at the bottom if you want to space out your pages evenly. So maybe this will become my ink journal for 2026. I don't know. Or actually, I'm about to run out of my current ink journal. So I have to move into a new one soon. So maybe it'll be for second half of this year. I don't know. Okay, so I think that wraps it up. So let's lay it all out. Got my new notebook. Got my Mufasan notebook, my Yumi Kirigishi stationery. I've got my letter writing sets. I've got my show ink and my freebie ink. Let's take this out because the box is not staying. My giveaway ink and my Moon Man and my TWSBI. And as I was putting all of my products, on the table for a final thumbnail and to just show everything off, my phone died. So by the time I had enough juice to keep going, the moment had passed because my husband was coming home from work and all of that. So if you are still here, thank you so much for hanging out with me so I could go through my Miami Pen Show haul. I apparently am very long-winded, so this video is crazy long, but I love this pen show because there's a lot of really good stuff there, but it's also not overwhelming. It's not that big yet. It'll probably grow. Like, it's been going for like 35 years or something, but it's under new ownership as of last year, and there was like kind of a weird year break or something in between. So it's, even though it's been going for a while, it's actually kind of still like a new show because it's new ownership and new everything. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. And I'm actually, believe it or not, going to go film another video right now. I just got some ink from, 6 new ink samples that I'm going to try. So
there might actually be another video very soon. Yay for me. I hope you guys are having a great day whenever you're watching this, and be safe and be well. Bye.